Hey, we're Gandalf's Goons. I'm Braden, and I'll be presenting with Bailey, Chloe, Kaylin, Rob, and William. And our environment is the Mirkwood Forest. This environment, like I said, it's the Mirkwood Forest, which has it's basically a temperate rainforest. This actually, the environment we chose actually leads to a lot of attributions and adaptations that our creature has. For example, there's lots of rainfall and humidity, which leads to obviously the soil quality being very high, lots of streams and rivers, as you can see in the images, as well as trees as well, just plants all around, which contributes to obviously lots of shade going around. This helps our creature develop different attributions, adaptations. And then is obviously as well, there's high soil quality, and then there's lots of frequent disruptions such as storms, and as I said before, lots of rainfall. All of these things kind of tie together from the environment that lead to what our creature has become.
Okay, so this is our chosen adaptation from part two. We decided that at the end of its long tail, there is a bioluminescent bulb on our organism that attracts the prey of our organism, since birds often mistake the bulb for a tasty glowworm. So you can see here examples of bioluminescence in our Earth and in our organism. Since they nest in trees, their prey is often the birds that come to those trees. So it has adapted to have that glowy bulb at the end of its tail through bioluminescence, as that allows it to attract and be able to prey on those birds. And so those who have brighter bulbs and that look like worms are more likely to survive as they have that food source from this adaptation.
So how does life in the temperate rainforest, like the Mirkwood Forest, shape unique adaptations in different organisms? So a big one is the climate there, and the high rainfall and humidity really push plants and animals to develop waterproofing and to store moisture to stay comfortable in the wet climate there. And light availability is also a big factor that comes into play. And so under the dense canopy, there's very little sunlight. So species have to adapt with shade-loving leaves or switch to nocturnal activities to find food and avoid predators. And a big one is also the soil quality. So rich and acidic soils encourage special root systems and relationships with microbes, which help plants get the nutrients they need. And in this forest, cooperation and competition go hand in hand. So symbiotic partnerships can mean the difference between thriving and failing, which is why species interactions is a big factor that comes into play with how these organisms can adapt to this rainforest. And some creatures even glow to attract prey, imitating more juicy food sources, and so secure prey and you secure survival. Basically, that's how it works. And so overall, from climate to the canopy there, it really shapes how species have to adapt to this rainforest.
Organism has developed a few other attributes that have helped it grow into having that bioluminescent tail. For one, it has a natural camouflage, which allows it to blend into the forest of Mirkwood. Another is that it has a longer tail that has been used to assist in climbing. These two together have kind of paved the way for it to be an ambush predator to fill that niche. However, this has also at the same time paved the way for it to develop that bioluminescent tail, as this allowed it to more easily ambush prey and therefore live long enough to reproduce.
So, living in the dimly lit environment of Mirkwood has allowed for the development of some physical and behavioral traits. First, this species has specialized eyes to see in the dark. It also has evolved to have hooked U-shaped claws, which allow the animal to firmly grip tree bark and climb to higher branches. One specific behavior that has resulted from these traits is being nocturnal, so that these animals are active during the night, decreasing competition between other species for food. Another behavior the species has is each organism will mark its territory or home tree using this hooked claw, warning other members of the same species or of different competing species that that space belongs to them.
Okay, so this is our creature. It lives in the Mirkwood Forest, and here's some of the traits that it has. It has long claws to help it catch prey, but also to help it climb the trees and to mark its territory by gouging its home tree. It has eyes kind of like a cat that help it see in the dark light, um, or the darkness of the forest. It's kind of like a greenish brownish color to help it blend into the forest. And then it has this little bulb at the end of its tail that glows, kind of like an anglerfish, and that helps it to attract prey.